Hey y'all, it is July the 14th, 2018, and y'all, I'm over here and I'm just kind of siphoning through and filtering through different various witness testimonials. Shout out to the lady who provided me these various witness testimonials. I've been kind of pouring through them. It's a lot of them, and what I've been doing is archiving all the details stuff. So holler at me, send me an email, and I'll get you what I have. All right. So I've been pouring through the witness testimonials, and certainly there are certain details that I find bewildering. All right. All throughout the different witness testimonials, and certainly we'll share them as time goes on, the different various details that we have not yet shared. All right. But what I wanted to do right now, in this moment, is share with you a particular testimonial. All right, in case if you haven't seen it or hadn't heard of it. Now, this is a anonymous witness testimonial. All right. Judging by the language, I would have to assume that it's actually a girl. All right, probably a freshman up in the freshman building. All right, more than likely, it was a student though. And she was in the building. She was on the third floor when this all goes down. And there's a little bit of a build up, kind of, you can read up to it, but here's what it says if you wanted to read it. So it leads up to this. This is where I wanted to start off at, because this is where it starts to kind of get a little bit weird. All right. Mind you, before we jump into this, I gotta let you know, probably the worst interview that I ever seen in my life. All right, the person conducting this interview is absolutely worthless. I believe that was a Detective Philip Reynolds. All right, so shout out to Philip Reynolds. Anyways, it starts off with an answer from the witness, and it reads like this. Mind you, like I said, it's gonna be kind of, it's not going to always be coherent because it's people just talking off the cuff, and there's typos and stuff like that. So, anyways, the witness says this. Yeah, we heard the gunshots, and my teacher opened the door, thinking maybe it was like maintenance dropped something. I want to stop you right there. Ooh, I don't know. I can't really tell, but the question comes to mind is, why in the world would you open the door? Because maintenance dropped something? What, are you going to open the door so that you can help him or something? What do you have? It's none of your it's really none of your business if you think maintenance dropped something. Meanwhile, these are gunshots. That sounds different than maintenance dropping something one time. Gunshots actually sound like multiple big bangs. Alright, so anyways, I don't want to be judging too hard. It says thought that maintenance dropped something, and then it just kept going. All right, so seeing as it just kept going, after they opened the door, they noticed that the bangs just kept going. All right, and then the teacher says, she said she closed the door, and she said, "Get my keys." Now, you already know what the game is. They're gonna lock the door. All right, keep the bad man out. Meanwhile, the bad man can easily get in. All you have to do is shoot through the window, open the door, or perhaps bust in the window and stick his hand through and open the door. Now the thing is, it's kind of confusing because, as you see in the statement, the teacher, she's calling out for her keys. All right, which I don't get how the doors work. Someone's gonna have to explain it to me. Can they be locked from the inside with her keys? That's why she's getting her keys? Because what I would assume, and I might be terribly wrong, but I assume that the door would open from the inside and you would not have to lock it with keys. Alright? And apparently I'm wrong. Alright? Apparently, you do have to lock it with keys from the inside, which I would figure that to be a fire hazard, but maybe I'm just tripping. Maybe I have no idea what I'm talking about. All right. So she says, "Go get my keys." Someone runs and gets her keys. All right. She locked the door, which serves no purpose, by the way. All right. If any, if anything, all it does is agitate the shooter a little bit, like it would even matter. So she locked the door, and then we all ran to the side of the classroom, and there was an alarm. An alarm was pulled, so we ran outside, and we went, and I want to stop you right there while you're in your pause. All right. So you're hearing all these gunshots. All right. You go into the room. You're hiding for dear life. You lock the door. You turn off the lights. You go hide in the closet, or that's what you're fixing to do. Before you can do that, the fire alarm goes off, and so you immediately, without question, run outside of the door. All right. Think to yourself how much sense that makes. All right. And we've already thought this a million times, but let's go ahead and think it again. These children had absolutely not the first single clue of what to do in this situation. Absolutely not one single dang clue. All right. So they ran out the door. They think it's fire alarm, even though they already heard gunshots. That doesn't sound good. All right. So, anyways, there's doors that lead downstairs, says the statement. And we open the doors. Now, you assume that would be the stairwell. There's 2 stairwells in that building. All right. So this is very important. This is where it's going to get wild. There's doors that lead downstairs, and we open the doors. And they got louder and louder and louder. Like they were coming. So we ran to the other side of the hallway, and we opened the door, the other door, on the other side of the hallway. And the same thing. The same thing. So everybody ran into the classrooms. Let me just stop it right there. This person is describing where there's 2 shooters, basically, right? In that building. One shooter was coming up one way. The shots were getting louder and louder. All right. And then they ran to the other side of the hallway, like you clearly see, to the other stairwell. The same thing. The shots are getting louder and louder. All right. So the shots are getting louder and louder because they're coming from 2 different directions, it seems. Now, perhaps the acoustics was thrown off, and that person didn't really realize that it was the same shots coming from they just didn't know what direction. Maybe it's only one shooter. Maybe that shooter's Nick Cruz, right? They just didn't know what direction. So they went out one door, heard gunshots, got scared off, ran down the hallway to the opposite side of the building, experienced the same damn thing. All right. Meanwhile, let me remind you that on the animation that you've seen that was so graciously provided us by Broward Sheriff's Office, there wasn't no shots being fired on the 2nd floor. If there was shots being fired on the 2nd floor, they were being fired at nobody. All right, because nobody got shot on the 2nd floor. Or, I mean, actually, there's a little bit of debate on that. It doesn't seem like, if anything, there was only one person shot on the 2nd floor. But probably it wasn't. Alright, so I don't wanna harp on that too long, because it's actually more. It actually gets weirder. Alright? So they opened the door and they experienced the same thing, so everybody ran. They ran in the classrooms. Back in the classrooms. And you remember there's something like that taking place in the animation. You caught it when Nick Cruz finally got up to the third floor. You see people all on the other end of the hallway. All right. They could have made it out had they ran down that stairwell, but they didn't know. All right. They heard shots coming from there. All right, so they ran in the classrooms, and I stayed in that classroom and didn't see my friend, whoever. And we were all laying on the floor, and there was like room or anything. Who knows what this person's getting at right now? All right, and it's gonna get even more absurd because now you're having audible problems. Now that she's starting to say some things that don't really add up, now you're gonna start to experience audio problems. 1 second, blah 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 blah. Do you know blah 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 blah? Last name, blah blah blah. I'm sorry, blah 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 blah. And that's it. Yeah. Do you know if she's in your class? Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead. So who knows what in the world they were even saying at that particular juncture? The answer is it's okay. I'm like the sounds were getting closer and closer, and we like knew that it was on our floor, and we heard it really close to our door, and we heard someone screaming like, "Hey," and like screaming and just yelling. Can't even imagine. And you know what was being said? They just kept saying, "Hey, hey, hey, I need help," and then like we just heard screaming after that, and blah 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 blah. And then after that, we saw like gunpowder or whatever, like on the floor, inaudible, like like smoke, like a little bit, but not like enough to blah 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 blah. Do you know what color it was? White. So you saw white like a powder or something come through the bottom of the door? Yeah. Okay. And then here's where an unidentified person comes into play. How is this person unidentified? Who is this person? I don't know. How is it even possible that they ended up on the police report, even though they're unidentified? I don't know. That person says, "Could you smell it?" The answer was yeah. Blah, blah, blah. And then we were like, we're scared. And then later on, everyone is like trying to call each other and all that. And then after we like the SWAT team, I guess, let us out. And then all like we're like in a line. Blah 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 blah. So who knows what she? I couldn't tell you. And then the question is, when you were locked in this room and it is crowded, do you remember what room that was in? That you're in? What floor were you on? The first floor? See, this person don't even listen. Alright? I mean, just an absolute terrible interviewer, whoever this person is. Alright? She said, no, the third floor. Oh, third. Oh. So you went, you left you were still on the third floor. Like, this person's a bumbling idiot. Alright? And it's really, really aggravating. Whoever this person, if it's Philip, Detective Philip, or if it's an unidentified person, whoever it is very aggravating. Alright? So the person says, oh, third, oh, you left you were still on the third floor and you stayed, and you just went in a different room? No, I stayed exact one. Okay, same room, same teacher, but okay, I thought you left. I'm sorry. Okay, same room, okay. So the person says, but I did leave a little detail out, and I thought y'all, I want to stop right there real quick. I thought y'all would want to hear this detail, and it's one of the main reasons why I brought up this video. So as it gets weirder, it says, but I did leave a little detail out because we didn't know what was happening. And when we ran to the other side of the hallway, I want y'all to picture this. You've seen the animation. You know what the building looks like. You know what this person is describing to you. They went to the stairwell, heard the gunshots coming, ran to the other side of the hallway, to the other stairwell, heard the gunshots coming. Alright. So they ran to the other side of the hallway. There's a window. Okay, a window in the hallway. Okay. and we open the blinds. All right, so it's not very descriptive. This person is describing a window which obviously leads to the outside of the building. And that's why there's blinds on the window. Alright? So do you understand? It's a window in the hallway on the 3rd floor of the school. A window that goes to the outside of the school. Alright? So we opened the blinds and we saw someone with like a gun wearing all black. Alright? So we're about to get into it. But here's the thing. Everybody loves to make excuses. Alright? So for the people who do like to make excuses, they might be thinking, well, maybe that's the SWAT team. Maybe that they're seeing a person wearing all black with a gun outside of the building. It's clearly what they're seeing. Alright, so maybe it's like the SWAT team or police or something like this. Mind you, Nick Cruz hasn't even made it to the 3rd floor yet. At this particular point, when they're looking out the window, Nick Cruz has not even made it to the 3rd floor yet. Alright, so if it happened to be SWAT team or police or something like that, you understand they're doing an absolute horrid job. They're doing the worst possible job possible. If indeed the SWAT team was already there. This person is describing a person outside of the building with a gun wearing all black. You haven't heard about this person on the news, right? You haven't heard this brought up right on the news. Alright. So let's go ahead and finish it off. Wearing all black? And then they ran towards the blah, 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 blah. Like I said, a terrible, an inexcusable, a god-awful interview. Alright? This person should be fired forever for this just a piece of garbage interview. So, unidentified person then says, let me ask you a question. Just take a moment and take a breath. Describe to us in as much detail as you can, says the unidentified person. The witness says, about the person? The unidentified person says, yes, I want details. Listen to this. Listen to this. Black pants. Black t-shirt. Black hair. Oh, wait, what? I said, what? I say black hair? Nick Cruz didn't have no black hair. Silly goose. Alright, anyways, black hair with a gun, and then I saw them running towards the building, blah, 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 because they're outside of the building. Saw them running towards, who's them? Is that plural? Is that plural? The interviewer actually gets kind of confused. He says, you saw them? The person says, like, one person. I meant, the person was meaning one person when they said them. So the unidentified person says, okay, just making sure. And then the witness says, yeah. And so the detective finally chimes in. He says, did he have a gun? Did he have his arm then? And the person said, they had a gun. Yeah. Talking in reference to the person outside the building. Yeah, they had a gun. Question. Can you describe what the gun looked like? Was it a handgun? Was it a big gun? It was smaller. Blah, 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 blah. Is it something you put in your hands or with two hands? And the person said one hand. One hand. You remember what hand it was? I'd say it was left, but I can't. Blah, 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 blah. And the question is blah, 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 blah. It's all right. And then that's when we all ran inside the classroom. All right. And it's going to continue from there, you know. I guess basically describing how the witness may or may not be able to identify that person they saw outside of the building. And then, basically how they hid in the building for well over an hour, maybe a couple hours. Who knows? I don't know. I guess SWAT team, well, they let the freshman building, they got to them pretty soon. It was the other buildings that took 2 or 3 hours. Anyways, all sort of madness. Anyways, I'll let y'all know when I find something as juicy. All right, you can count on it. I'll holler at y'all. It's July the 14th, 2018.